We hear the closing bell sounding on this Tuesday, August 4th. Let's take a look at the action as the market settles, and you're not going to see a heck of a lot of change here. The S&P closing out, though, 0.25% stronger, so holding well over that a little bit over that 1,000 level at 1,005, I should say. Take a look at the Dow here. We're seeing the Dow close up about 1/3% at 93.19. Go ahead and round out to 93.20, and the Nasdaq turning positive, up 0.1% at the close to 2011, so trading over as well that 2,000 level.
All right, we've got Kraft Foods crossing as we speak in terms of their earnings. Now, keep in mind, what's catching my attention right now is that the company is boosting its forecast. Let me just pull up the numbers. We were looking for 54 cents a share in terms of its quarterly earnings, and I don't see that number yet crossing. But again, looks like they're boosting their year EPS view to at least $1.93 a share from $1.88. There's a look at Kraft Foods in the after-hours trading, so already getting a kick higher. This stock lagging kind of some of the other trades we've seen in some of the equity names. It's up about 5% on the year so far. So again, Kraft boosting its forecast for the year. It's looking for about $1.93 a share from $1.88. Also,
which is bang in line with consensus, I want to point out. I mean, analysts already have $1.93 for the full year, so boosting it to basically come back in line with the street, it looks like.
All right, and it looks like, what, 56 cents a share. Brennan, are you tracking this number for us?
Yeah. Don't forget the expectation, however, was for 54 cents, so this is a beat by 2 cents there on the bottom line. Last year, Kraft came out with 56 cents, so slightly behind the second quarter of last year, but certainly ahead of expectations for this quarter. One thing that you wanted to look at, though, is Kraft had seen 7 consecutive quarters of declining operating margins. However, that was until last quarter when the company posted margins of 13.5%. Looking at this right now, we're seeing operating income is up some 7.6%. Margins expanded 190 basis points. So take 13.6 and add 1.9, and again, they are now raising operating margins. So certainly looking very good there. Again, Carol, you had mentioned earlier, they are raising their guidance. It was at 188. It is right now 193. Stock is looking very good in the after hours. Matt, back to you.
All right, Brennan, thanks very much. We're going to continue to keep track of Kraft earnings. We're also expecting earnings from Whole Foods and Electronic Arts right now. Let's go down to the New York Stock Exchange. Suzanne O'Halloran is standing by with the wrap of today's trade for us. Suzanne?
Well, thanks, Matt. You know, no big move either way for the S&P 500, but the Dow Industrials did get that boost, from Caterpillar, and this was really the biggest story stock of the day. I am right in front of the Caterpillar post. It trades here right behind me at Bank of America. Now, Caterpillar shares rose about 5%, adding between 18 and 19 points to the Dow Industrials on a point. So it was the biggest point contributor, Matt, to the Dow Industrials today, and really supported this market. We turned around roughly around 11 o'clock today, and it was because Caterpillar had their investor meeting today. Zara Burton filled us in on that. But essentially, they are reaffirming their profit goals. It might do even a little bit better if we have a normal economic recovery. CEO Jim Owens saying he does believe that we will, in fact, have an economic recovery. Now, in terms of other metrics, I mentioned financials earlier in the program. They were by far the strongest S&P sector, seeing a gain of about 1%. MBIA was a huge mover. No specific news on this troubled mortgage-related company. However, they do have earnings out on Thursday. Industrials, of course, Caterpillar helping the industrials, but we also had Masco, material supply maker, rising as well today. And utilities are going to be your weakest group. Now, we know utilities perform well when interest rates are falling. That has been played out, of course, but we're starting to get earnings from a number of the energy companies and power companies. And the stories with PPL today, Carol, is their profits were down on less electricity demand for a lot of factories. This, of course, part of the recession. Carol?
All right. Thanks very much, Suzanne. Whole Foods numbers just crossing third quarter EPS, including a LIFO credit of 2 cents a share. Looks like the third quarter EPS of 25 cents a share. Now, analysts were looking for 20 cents a share, so it looks like that number coming in a nickel better than expected. So, again, Whole Foods, this is a stock that's had a great run this year. It's up about 161%. Looking for that revenue number, don't see it crossing yet. Whole Foods also saying that it took a non-cash impairment charge of $4.8 million in the quarter. So, again, that you need to take into account when you look at these earnings. But again, 25 cents a share for that third quarter. Again, analysts were expecting 20 cents a share, so it looks like it's coming in a nickel better than expected. Take a look at the after-hours trading. It's up about 3.5%. Matt, you're looking through the press release.
I'm looking through the press release here, and I do see that they say sales for the quarter increased 2% to $1.9 billion. That's actually a little bit better than analysts expected. We were looking for $1.87 billion, so just a tick better, and contrary to the trend that we've seen where companies come out and beat on the bottom line, but miss on the sales. So Whole Foods, at least, coming out ahead as far as revenue.
Right, and interesting.